Don't they follow the Talmud? And isn't that like a Babylonian? It's kind of like we have no problem calling out Muslims. You're either with God or you're against God. So, atheists, Satanists, Muslims. We look at like
the Talmud was not.
But don't they follow that now? Other than like the Orthodox.
What is even the Orthodox? You've got to go back. At the time of Jesus, how many sects of Judaism, not counting Christianity, because that hadn't formed yet. Christianity started as a sect.
There were a few Sadducees. There were.
How many sects of Judaism were
About
popular?
4.
There were 4.
Yeah. The Essenes, Herodians.
There were the Essenes. The Essenes. They were the withdrawal party. They were the guys that said, let's go up on the mountain and wait for God to nuke the world.
They were like special forces kind of guys.
Yes, they were very monastic. They're the ones that went down to the Dead Sea and hung out in the desert, waiting for God to kill everybody else. Then they would emerge and conquer the world. Number 2.
God-fearers?
They were Gentiles.
Oh.
I said the Herodians.
Well, I'm going to put those in a larger group. The Temple Party, of which the Herodians were a part. They were the collaborators with Rome.
Okay, so the Sadducees, they'd be
The
under the
Sadducees would be very much in that. The Herodians, the people who said support the temple at all costs. Rome is letting us keep the temple. That's what matters. So you had the Temple Party.
And then the Pharisees.
Number 3, you had the Pharisees. What were the Pharisees?
They were
In one word.
Law?
Law keepers?
Yeah.
Synagogue.
Oh, right.
They were the party of the synagogue. That was their bailiwick. That's where their power base was, the synagogue. They led every synagogue in the world. And number 4 was
You said
they're
Sadducees.
part of the Temple Party.
They don't believe in eternal life. That's why they're so sad, you see.
You see, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the 4th one? A number of Jesus' disciples came from this group.
What letter does
Oh,
it
John the
start?
Baptist guys?
He was in a scene.
What letter does it start?
Z,
Zealots.
the Zealots.
They're the special forces.
They were the terrorist party.
Yeah.
They said be terrorists against Rome and drive the Romans out. They're the ones who wanted Jesus to overthrow.
Yeah.
Judas was probably a zealot. We know there was probably at least 3 of them, 2 or 3 of them. Why? Jesus says, go get a sword, and they say, hey, we've already got several here. They were probably because zealots were carrying their swords.
And what was the first one? I'm sorry.
The Essenes, Essene, Cene.
The monks.
The monastic party, yes. The withdrawal party. The people, the desert.
The Dead Sea Scroll guys.
Yeah, they're the ones who wrote the Dead Sea Scroll. Now, let's look at what the destruction of Jerusalem did to those 4. What did it do to the zealots?
Wipe them out.
They were wiped out. They had their last stand at
It starts with an M, the Mossad.
Masada.
Mossad.
What did it do to the Temple Party?
Temple was destroyed.
Temple was destroyed. The Herodians, the Sadducees, all of them were again wiped out.
Pharisees are the only ones who survived.
What did it do to the Essenes?
They went further.
Rome marched out and killed them too. They didn't go far enough. They ended up at Masada with the zealots, and they were the remnant of them, and they were wiped out. happened that the Essene community was on the march to Masada, so on their way there, Rome stopped and took care of business with them too. That leaves how many parties?
The Pharisees.
The Pharisees. So every Jew in the world today comes out of the Pharisee party. Now, what did the Pharisee party do prior to Jesus? As they're establishing the synagogue, because what does the synagogue run on? Sacrifice?
No.
No. How many Jews sacrifice today?
0.
0. Who was concerned about sacrificing?
Temple.
Temple party. They're gone. So, what was the synagogue concerned about?
The law.
Law keepers.
Keeping the law. I'm going to say it a little differently. Following the rules. What's the problem?
They adjusted it though.
They kept adding.
Yeah.
They made them.
Well,
Those rules aren't specific enough. It says don't work on the Sabbath, but how far do you have to walk before it's work? It says don't do this, but when does it become, what does this mean? So what did they begin to do?
They defined it.
They
They
down-
wrote
they wrote-
rules to tell you what the laws meant.
They kept adding. Yeah.
That is 2 pieces of writing. And it's not a single volume. It's like the OED. Anybody know what the OED is? The English Oxford Dictionary. There's like, the last printed one they did, I think there was 24 huge volumes, like this big volumes. They no longer publish it because they said new words are coming in so quick that it's irrelevant to publish it. The only way you can do it is by an online access to it.
There's the Talmud, there's 2 versions of it. The Babylonian and Jerusalem Talmud has 70
So-
volumes.
There's the Talmud, and what's the other one?
well, don't they also have the, Madonna was doing it, I forgot the name, I just had it.
Starts with an M.
Kabbalah.
Yeah,
It
that's
starts with an M.
There's the Mishnah and the
The
Gemara.
Mishnah. So you've got these two collection of writings, and what were they? They were basically the teachings of the rabbis about what all those laws from the books of Moses mean.
It's the Mishnah, and what's the other one?
Mishnah and Gemara. It's the Mishnah is one of them. I always get it mixed up, but one of them is the oral law written down. The other one is the comments of the rabbis on the law
Okay.
to explain
Right.
it.
So basically, that wasn't, even when even the Babylonian part of the Talmud was not Babylonian teaching. It was the teaching of the Jews who were exiled in Babylon. They were often more strict in adhering to the scripture than the people outside of Babylon, because they lived among the Gentiles enough to know how terrible the Gentile false religions were. What one thing did the Babylonian captivity do for Israel that nothing else had?
Kept them together.
No. It got rid of something that they had never been able to get rid of.
Well, is it idol worship?
Idolatry. Up until the Babylonian captivity, did Israel always struggle with idol worship?
Sure.
Yes.
Once they lived in Babylon and saw idol worship up close,
Rid of it.
and there has never been a Jewish group from the Babylonian captivity to the present who practiced idol worship. That's gone. They practiced other things that Jesus criticizes, but they never did that again. So It's not that that was Babylonian, it just came out of the group that was there in Babylon. But they were often more biblically conservative than the others because they'd seen the depth of depravity in that. The problem with the Talmud and the Mishnah and Jesus' criticism is what? That in trying to define exactly what those laws meant, often you are twisting them. And what does, and let's not jump on the Jews too hard for this one, what does having the Mishnah and the Talmud do for the law?
Gives it authority.
Well, it does, but it pushes it more and more toward externalism. I'm going to use a different word, externalism. That what matters about the law? Following these external rules. Is that only a Jewish problem?
No.
What happens in the Christian church, the more conservative you look at the church, if you look at the church all the way from unbelieving liberals that don't even believe anything of historic Christianity to ultra-conservatives or ultra-fundamentalists, as you go down that spectrum, the closer you get to fundamentalism, what happens?
Works righteousness.
Legalism.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to use the term externalism. So it becomes, the Bible has one verse about men and long hair. But now that's not enough to say long hair is wrong. What's long hair? So I looked at going to Baptist Bible College in Clark Summit. Do you know what long hair is?
Over the years.
Over the ear.
If
Over the
you can
eyebrow.
pull your hair down and it touches your eyebrow, that's long hair. If you can pull your hair out and it comes over your ear, that's long hair. If it comes over the collar of your shirt in the back, that's long hair. Is there anywhere in the Bible that says touching your ear, touching your eyebrow, or touching your...
No
I remember
way.
we went to a church one time. We were visiting a church, and I'm sure you remember this, Dad. But the pastor, like, specifically called out women not wearing pants. And my mom was so embarrassed because she was wearing pants.
Yeah.
That was a mess.
It was like, really? Is that necessary?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. We never went back.
And in that whole discussion in 1 Corinthians about hair, what is the context of that?
Is it separating women from men? Is that what
Yes.
that is? Yeah.
So the whole idea is that men shouldn't look like women and women shouldn't look like men. You should be able to tell who's a man and who's a woman. In modern parlance, what is that speaking about? This whole transgender stuff.
So basically, I can grow my hair as long as I want, as long as I like my beard.
As long as you don't get confused for a woman.
So again,
Doesn't say it.
you know, what happens the more and more you lean on that scale towards externalism? What do you lose?
Spirit.
The spiritual application of it.
Sermon on the Mount, essentially.
Yeah. And so the natural tendency of non-idolatrous people is to do what? Jeremiah talks about this. He's writing during the time of the exile to Babylon. What is it? When I don't have a golden statue in my house, does the Catholic Church practice idolatry?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They pray to the saints.
Saint Mary.
Saints
Paul,
Mary,
Saint Crystal.
you know, what do many Catholics have outside their house?
Mary.
Statues of Mary.
Statues.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Mary. Mary in a half shell.
Yeah.
Maybe Jesus.
Goodness.
Yeah, everybody's like that. Yeah.
You've
Now
never.
I
No,
get it.
we
I
did.
never heard that saying.
We've seen them. Our grandparents had them.
My neighbor has.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Mary. Mary in a half shell. Mary power.
Oh, no.
Crazy man.
Poor Mary, poor Mary.
But you're gonna remember
Yeah, I
that,
remember
aren't you?
now.
Are you talking about those, sometimes I see them like.
That's it.
Yeah,
She's standing in the.
that's exactly it.
Standing in
It's
that
like a white
shed.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
White
it's a-
shell.
it's a-
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Hollywood
It's a
bowl.
half shell.
Okay.
Like the Hollywood
No,
bowl.
you won't forget it, Joy.
Yeah.
So,
I drive past when every day with that mom and then to the work.
the Catholic Church has their idols. What is the problem in the Protestant church? And again, the more conservative you go, the more that you face that in some ways.
Personal experience based.
Idols of the heart. Because we're so against visible idols,
They're against that
but
stuff.
we are natural idol makers. We all are. They have an outlet for their natural idol making. They have actual idols. We don't, so what do?
You make them.
We make idols of the heart and justify our idols of the heart because, oh, it's not an idol.
But
Do
wasn't
you
there-
see how?
Wasn't theirs both internal and external though?
Sure, but again, and there's an internal component and an external component to both of those. But again, when you focus on getting rid of one, it allows the other one to sneak in on you. And that's the complaint that Jesus has. That the Jewish people of his day have this externalism that's based on just following the external rules. And that's leading to idols that they're worshiping in their heart, even though they are 100% against traditional idolatry. I would hold that the church finds itself very much in the same shape. So we can't throw too many stones without some of them bouncing back and hitting us in the nose.
But aren't there standards, like, I know what you're saying about but like, say you go to an amusement park and they say, kids under a certain height
Yeah,
can't, they don't say little kids, there's a standard because of
Yep.
a reson. So, I mean, without being
and it's
obsessed
not
on
just kids. Do you know who that really hits?
Adult.
Adults.
It's
Little
the height.
people.
Midgets.
Yeah, people with dwarfism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen some of those dwarf comedians talk about going to an amusement park? They won't even let me on a stupid roller coaster.
That's because of safety reasons.
Safety
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
Well, it's
But
not
like I
designed
said,
for-
even with the
Maintain
hair,
your body.
don't you think that there are, you could say, but long hair to some people, I mean,
Yeah.
I think
It's
there's
opinionated.
standards. I don't think you should obsess with things, but
But again, when you start regulating, it is exactly this and not, and you're gonna draw that line, when you draw the line as, you should not look as a man like a woman. Somebody shouldn't be walking up behind you and going, "Excuse me, ma'am, oh, I'm sorry."
Ooh,
Mhm.
and he got in trouble at work for that. He
Yeah.
thought it was a woman.
Yeah. That you've probably crossed a line that's what God's trying to do. But when you start regulating, it is exactly this many inches. That's what the Talmud did, and that's what Jesus is saying. You're now nullifying the spirit of the law to obey the rulings of man. And once you start down that road, do you stop?
Nope, you just keep going. It's what the Pharisees did.
Because now you've got to pile on rules to support your rules, to support your rules, to support God's rule.
And then if you try to be a good person and do so many good things, then Jesus died in vain. Because essentially you didn't need him to pay for your sin. You can do enough good things.
So
Yeah.
Well, they're still waiting for Jesus.
Oh.
does that put
Mhm.
Judaism and Islam in the same camp?
Oh, no, I wasn't saying that.
Yeah.
My question is, like, now, so
What's
basically,
the word synagogue, first of all?
wasn't that where they used to meet?
It was, but was
Gathering.
that a religious word?
No. Well, I was going
I would say, yeah.
It is not.
No?
Almost no biblical word is a religious word. A few are, but almost none are. What does the word synagogue mean?
House? Meeting place?
Meeting, assembly. So, what is John saying when he says, I think it's John, it's Revelation 3, the synagogue of Satan.
Meeting place of Satan.
Yeah, and he's saying that what has happened in the synagogue at that point. And again, if you look at the New Testament, what was going on in the synagogue at that point?
They've gotten away from,
Well, not just they've gotten away from, what are they doing?
Den of thieves, I think.
well, they weren't practicing idolatry.
Are you talking about the end times, what they did in the?
No, what were they doing when the New Testament was written?
Persecuting.
They were trying to destroy the church. That's Paul's whole origin story, right? They are actively going out to hunt down and kill Christians.
But wasn't...
Now, has that been the activity of the synagogue ever since then?
Yeah.
Has that been the continuous
No.
flow of Jewish history from the first century to today?
No.
In fact, very quickly it became
Part of it. People of the way, you mean? Like a
No.
denomination, you mean?
If in the first century it was Jews persecuting Christians, very quickly it became
Christians persecuting Jews.
Yeah.
And if you look at 20 centuries of of religious history between Jews and Christians, you have 1 century of Jews persecuting Christians. You have how many centuries of Christians persecuting Jews?
The rest of them.
Yeah, most of the rest. So again, now, what is going to happen at the end of time?
It's going to switch back.
You are going to have, and we haven't talked an awful lot about the Antichrist. We have talked, but not a lot about the false prophet, because like the Holy Spirit, there isn't a lot about the false prophet. But what is the major contribution of the false prophet during the tribulation period?
He's going to point the Antichrist as
God.
Jesus, as God.
And to do that, what is he going to do?
In the church?
Yes, but what is his task politically?
World religion.
Yes, to unite all the religions into one world religion, official religion.
You see those coexist bumper stickers?
Yes.
Ecumenicalism.
For the Jewish people, what is that going to do?
They're not going to conform?
Well, apparently it's going to do several things.
Separate.
Number one, what will be the initial Jewish attitude toward them?
They'll go for it.
They will be very positive about it. And that's going back to Daniel 9:27. What shows who the Antichrist is?
Peacekeeper.
The peace treaty. And what does the peace treaty authorize?
Peace with Israel.
Building
The reestablishing of the temple. And for 3.5 years, the Jewish people are going to be, rah, rah, he's our God. What happens in the middle of the tribulation
He
period?
declares himself God.
The abomination of desolation, he declares himself God, sets up the image of his own image in the temple,
Have the image.
takes over the temple as being his property. And what does that do at that moment?
Starts the.
They attack Israel, break the peace treaty.
Well, he persecutes the people who don't
Persecute the
acknowledge
Jews.
him as that.
It drives many of the Jews, finally that opens their eyes, he's not our God. And from that moment on, what happens?
They're going to be persecuted by him.
They flee to a place where God protects them.
Petra.
People say that. I don't know where it is. That Petra was based on the fact that everybody's running on foot. That's where you could get to that would be, I don't know where it will be. We've got planes today. You can be around the world in 24 hours. In the time it took you to run from Jerusalem to Petra, you can be anywhere in the world today. I don't know where it is. But somewhere they're going to be hidden away from him and protected. What does that mean? It means two things. Number one, they've been like this. What have they done?
Separated.
They've broken with Antichrist. And number two, he's mad about that and trying to kill them for it. So you've got that kind of division.
Will this be the time on that second half when the 144,000 are now evangelizing?
Yes.
Or they weren't doing it really before that, right? I guess they've been...
Well, we don't know exactly when. The problem with Revelation is it doesn't give clear timestamps for everything. And it compresses things down to an event that are probably more of a series of events. Certainly they will have to be trained before they go out. But yes, that will be the height of their ministry, and that's when they're being protected from these demons that are loosed in physical form and from all this other devastation, because what's happening during this time? What's happening in that last half of the tribulation period?
Persecution.
Persecution is really a minor thing.
The world is falling apart.
The world is destroying itself because what characterizes the judgment of the first half of the tribulation period?
Horses.
Right, yeah, the
It's
plague.
bad, but then it's worse. in the
That's
second
when
You
half.
have the bowls, the
Or-
seals.
It is, well, the bowls are the last one. Seals, trumpets, bowls. But there's a major shift halfway or so through the tribulation period about judgment. The first half is this kind of judgment. The second half is this kind of judgment.
Oh, isn't the judgment on the earth and then it's judgment like on your physical bodies?
The first half is passive judgment.
That's what it is. And then active.
It's God withdrawing his protection and allowing nature to take its course. The second half is active judgment. Meteor strikes and asteroid hits and sun turning dark and moon turning to blood and the ocean dying and
Yikes.
fire burning a third of the earth's surface and yada yada yada. So yes, there is persecution, but even if you are Antichrist's stoutest ally, how are you faring during that time?
I'm taking it too.
Is it just those he's persecuting that are suffering?
No.
It's
The
everybody.
judgment.
Think about, 3/4 or more of the world's population dying in 7 years. The Black Death was considered one of the darkest moments in human history. What was the total human death during that time? In 30 or 40 years, maybe a third of the European and Asian population died. That doesn't say anything about the North and South American population. They didn't suffer it at all. And America was fairly well populated because you had the Aztec and the Mayan empires back then. Not to mention all the American Indian nations. A third of Europe and parts of Asia died, and that was considered a great catastrophe. 2/3 to 3/4 in 7 years of the whole world. Nobody's going to be going, hey, this is cool. And in fact, as you approach the end of it, what's the situation? Jesus says what?
You will pray for death and will escape them.
If those days had not been,
Sure, everybody would die.
what would the population of the world be?
Zero.
And we're talking here about human population, but what else does that imply?
Plants, animals.
Plants, animals, we're talking, you want to talk about mass extinction events. What percentage of the world's species are going to live through the tribulation period? There's an old joke that said people in, jumped right out of my brain, South American country that got taken over by communism.
El Salvador,
No,
Colombia.
Venezuela, that was once rich, got taken over by communism. And somebody joked, oh, they're eating dogs in Venezuela.
Dogs and cats, yeah.
Dogs and cats in Venezuela. And what did the Venezuelans respond to that?
No, we're up to the squirrels and rats now.
Yeah, the dogs and cats were all eaten 10 months ago. We're now eating the rats. So when the human population is that desperate, what does that do to the animal population? Do we worry about deer season? Or rabbit season or whatever?
Anything's fair game.
Yeah, if it's made of meat, it's going down.
Or insects.
Insects. Hey, have a great evening.
Jack, if you have a parrot, we're eating it.
Yeah.
Just last thing, the Kabbalah, was that for the Pharisees also, or was that a different offshoot?
We gotta go help.
I
It
don't,
goes from the script, the Jewish scriptures, Talmud, and the last thing is called the